Where do you have the time for that?
Ah.
Ha ha ha.
Ah.
Ha ha ha. 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Thank you. Thanks for doing this, man. Really appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome.
It's very good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And thanks for not lighting this place on fire.
You're welcome. That's coming later.
How does one, just in the middle of doing all the things you do, create cars, rockets,
That's coming later.
all this stuff you're doing, constantly innovating, decide to just make a flamethrower? Where do you have the time for that?
Well, the flame. We didn't put a lot of time into the flamethrower. This was an off-the-cuff thing, and so we have sort of like it's sort of a hobby company called The Boring Company, which started out as a joke, and we decided to make it real, and dig a tunnel under LA, and then other people asked us to dig tunnels, and so we said yes in a few cases. And then we have a merchandise section that only has one piece of merchandise at a time. And we started off with a cap, and there was only one thing on it. Was just boringcompany.com/cap or hat. That's it. And then we sold the hats, limited edition. It just said The Boring Company. And then I'm a big fan of Spaceballs, the movie. And in Spaceballs, Yogurt goes through the merchandising section, and they have a flamethrower in the merchandising section of Spaceballs. And the kids love that one. That's the line. When he pulls out the flamethrower, it's like, we should do a flamethrower. So we...
Does anybody tell you no? Does anybody go, Elon, maybe for yourself, but selling a flamethrower, the liabilities, all the people you're selling this device to, what kind of unhinged people are going to be buying a flamethrower in the first place? Do we really want to connect ourselves to all these potential arsonists?
Yeah, it's a terrible idea. Terrible. Shouldn't buy one. I said don't buy this flamethrower. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. That's what I said. But still, people bought it.
Yeah,
there's nothing I could do to stop them.
If you build it, they will come.
I said, don't buy it. It's a bad idea.
How many did you make?
It's dangerous. It's wrong. Don't buy it. And still, people bought it. I just couldn't stop them.
How many did you make?
20,000.
And they're all gone.
In 4 days. They sold out in 4 days.
Are you going to do another run?
No.
No, that's it.
Yes.
Oh.
I said we would do 20. We did 50,000 hats. And that was $1 million. And he's like, okay, we'll sell something and for $10 million, and that was 20,000 flamethrowers at $500 each. They went fast.
Yeah, how do you have the time? How do you have the time to do that, though? I mean, I understand that it's not a big deal in terms of all the other things that you do, but how do you have time to do anything? I don't understand your time management skills.
I mean, I didn't spend much time on this flamethrower. I mean, to be totally frank, it's actually just a roofing torch with an air rifle cover. It's not a real flamethrower.
Which is why it says not a flamethrower.
That's why we were very clear. This is not actually a flamethrower. And also we were told that various countries would ban shipping of it. They would ban flamethrowers. So to solve this problem for all the customs agencies, we labeled it not a flamethrower.
Did it work? Is it effective?
I don't know. I think so. Yes.
So far.
Yes.
Now, but you do...
Because they said you cannot strip a flamethrower.
But you do so many different things. Forget about the flamethrower. Like, how do you do all that other shit? Like, how does one decide to fix LA traffic by drilling holes in the ground? And who do you even approach with that? Like, when you have this idea, who do you talk to about that?
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be successful or sort of, I mean, it's just like asserting that it's going to be successful. But so far, I've lived in LA for 16 years, and the traffic has always been terrible. And so I don't see any other ideas for improving the traffic. So in desperation, we're going to dig a tunnel And maybe that tunnel will be successful, and maybe it won't.
I'm listening.
Yeah. I'm not trying to convince you it's going to work.
And are the people
or anyone.
But you were starting this, though. This is actually a project you're starting to implement, right?
Yeah, no, we've dug about a mile. It's quite long. It takes a long time to walk it.
Yeah. Now, when you're doing this, what is the ultimate plan? The ultimate plan is to have these in major cities and anywhere there's mass congestion and just try it out in LA first?
Yeah, it's in LA because I mostly live in LA. That's the reason. It's a terrible place to dig tunnels. This is one of the worst places to dig tunnels because there's mostly because of the paperwork. People think it's like, what about seismic? It's like, actually, tunnels are very safe in earthquakes.
Why is that?
Earthquakes are essentially a surface phenomenon. It's like waves on the ocean. So if there's a storm, you want to be in a submarine. So being in a tunnel is like being in a submarine. Now the way the tunnel is constructed is it's constructed out of these interlocking segments, kind of like a snake. It's sort of like a snake exoskeleton with double seals, and so even when the ground moves, the tunnel actually is able to shift along with the ground, like an underground snake, and it doesn't crack or break, and it's extremely unlikely that both seals would be broken, and it's capable of taking 5 atmospheres of pressure. It's waterproof, methane-proof, gas-proof of any kind, and meets all California seismic requirements.
So when you have this idea, who do you bring this to?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, when you're implementing it, so you're digging holes in the ground. Like,
yes.
You have to bring it to someone that lets you do it.
Yeah, so there were some engineers from SpaceX who thought it would be cool to do this, and the guy who runs it like day to day, Steve Davis. He's a longtime SpaceX engineer. He's great. So Steve was like, "I'd like to help make this happen." I was like, "Cool." So we started off with digging a hole in the ground. It's got like a permit for a pit, big pit, and just dug a big pit.
And do you have to tell them what the pit's for, or you just say, "Hey, we just want to dig a hole"?
No, you just fill out this form.
That's it.
Yeah, it was a pit in our parking lot.
But do you have to give them some sort of a blueprint for your ultimate idea? And do they have to approve it? Like, how does that work?
No, we just started off with a pit.
Okay.
Big pit. And, it's not really, they don't really care about the existential nature of a pit. You just say, like, I want a pit.
Right.
And it's a hole in the ground. So then we got the permit for the pit, and we dug the pit, and we dug it in, like, I don't know, 3 days, 3 days. Actually, I think 48 hours, something like that. Because Eric Garcetti was coming by for he was going to attend the Hyperloop competition, which is like a student competition we have for who can make the fastest pod in the Hyperloop. And he was coming. The finals were going to be on Sunday afternoon, and so Eric was coming by on Sunday afternoon. He was like, we should dig this pit and then like show Eric. So this was like Friday morning, and then so it was about a little over 40 hours. 40 hours later, we dug the pit. It was like we're in 24/7, or 48 straight hours, something like that, and dug this big pit, and we like showed Eric the pit. It's like, obviously it's just a pit, but hey, it's hole in the ground is better than no hole in the ground. And
what do you tell them about this pit? I mean, you just say this is the beginning of this idea.
Yes,
we're going to build tunnels under LA to help funnel traffic better, and they just go, okay. We've joked around about this in the podcast before. That like, what other person can go to the people that run the city and go, hey, we're going to dig some holes underground and put some tunnels in there, and they go, oh yeah, okay.
Nothing wrong with a hole in the ground.
But it's
people dig holes in the ground all the time.
But my question is, like, I know how much time you must be spending on your Tesla factory. I know how much time you must be spending on SpaceX, and yet you still have time to dig holes under the ground in LA and come up with these ideas and then implement them. Like,
I got a million ideas.
I'm sure you do.
There's no shortage of that. Yeah.
I just don't know how you manage your time. I don't understand it. It doesn't even seem humanly possible.
You know, I do basically. I think people like don't totally understand what I do with my time. They think like I'm a business guy or something like that. Like my Wikipedia page says business magnate.
What would you call yourself?
I'm a business magnet. Can someone please change my Wikipedia page to magnet?
They'll change it right now. It's probably already changed.
It's locked. So somebody has to be able to unlock it and change it to magnet.
Someone will get that.
I want to be a magnet. No, I do engineering and and manufacturing and that kind of thing. That's like 80% or more of my time.
Ideas and then the implementation of those ideas.
That's like hardcore engineering, like designing things,
Right.
Structural, mechanical, electrical, software, user interface, engineering, aerospace engineering.
But you must understand there's not a whole lot of human beings like you. You know that, right? So you're an oddity.
Seems, yes.
To chimps like me.
We're all chimps.
Yeah, we are.
We're one notch above a chimp.
Some of us are a little bit more confused. When I watch you doing all these things, I'm like, how does this motherfucker have all this time and all this energy and all these ideas, and then people just let him do these things?
Because I'm an alien.
That's what I've speculated.
Yes.
I'm on record saying this in the past. I wonder.
It's true.
I mean, if there was one, I was like, if there was like maybe an intelligent being that we created, like some AI creature that's superior to people, maybe he'd just hang around with us for a little while like you've been doing and then fix a bunch of shit. Maybe that's the way.
I might have some mutation or something like that.
You might. Do you think you do?
Probably.
Do you wonder? Like you're around normal people, you're like, You're like, what's up with these boring, dumb motherfuckers? Ever?
Not bad for a human, but I think we'll not be able to hold a candle to AI.
You scare the shit out of me when you talk about AI. Between you and Sam Harris. I didn't even consider it until I had a podcast with Sam once.
Sounds great.
He made me shit my pants. Talking about AI, I realized like, oh, well, this is a genie that once it's out of the bottle, you're never getting it back in.
That's true.
There was a video that you tweeted about one of those Boston Dynamic robots. And you're like, in the future, it'll be moving so fast you can't see it without a strobe light.
Yeah. You could probably do that right now.
And no one's really paying attention too much other than people like you or people that are really obsessed with technology. All these things are happening, and these robots are... Did you see the one where PETA put out a statement that you shouldn't kick robots?
It's probably not wise.
For retribution.
Their memory's very good.
I bet it's really good.
It's really good.
I bet it is.
Yes.
And getting better every day.
It's really good.
Are you honestly, legitimately concerned about this? Is like AI one of your main worries in regards to the future?
Yes. It's less of a worry than it used to be, mostly due to taking more of a fatalistic attitude.
So you used to have more hope, and you gave up some of it, and now you don't worry as much about AI. You're like, this is just what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, yes. Yes, it's not necessarily bad. It's definitely going to be outside of human control.
Not necessarily bad, right?
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad. It's just outside of human control. Now, the thing that's going to be tricky here is that it's going to be very tempting to use AI as a weapon. It's going to be very tempting. In fact, it will be used as a weapon. So the on-ramp to serious AI, the danger is going to be more humans using it against each other, I think, most likely. That'll be the danger. Yeah.
How far do you think we are from something that can make its own mind up, whether or not something's ethically or morally correct, or whether or not it wants to do something, or whether or not it wants to improve itself, or whether or not it wants to protect itself from people or from other AI? How far away are we from something that's really, truly sentient?
Well, I mean, you could argue that any group of people, like a company, is essentially a cybernetic collective of people and machines. That's what a company is. And then there's different levels of complexity in the way these companies are formed. And then there's sort of like a collective AI in the Google search, where we're all sort of plugged in as like nodes on the network, like leaves on a big tree. And we're all feeding this network without questions and answers. We're all collectively programming the AI, and and Google plus all the humans that connect to it are one giant cybernetic collective. This is also true of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these social networks. They're giant cybernetic collectives.
Humans and electronics all interfacing and constantly connected.
Yes. Constantly.
One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot over the last few years is that one of the things that drives a lot of people crazy is how many people are obsessed with materialism and getting the latest, greatest thing. And I wonder how much of that is, well, a lot of it is most certainly fueling technology and innovation. And it almost seems like it's built into us. It's like what we like and what we want, that we're fueling this thing that's constantly around us all the time. And it doesn't seem possible that people are going to pump the brakes. It doesn't seem possible at this stage where we're constantly expecting the newest cell phone, the latest Tesla update, the newest MacBook Pro. Everything has to be newer and better. And that's going to lead to some incredible point. And it seems like it's built into us. It almost seems like it's an instinct that we're working towards this, that we like it. Mm-hmm. That our job, just like the ants build the anthill, our job is to somehow or another fuel this.
Yes. I mean, when I made those comments some years ago, but it feels like we are the biological bootloader for AI, effectively. We are building it. And then we're building progressively greater intelligence. And the percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing. And eventually, we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence. But the AI is informed, strangely, by the human limbic system. It is, in large part, our id writ large.
How so?
Well, you mentioned all those things, the sort of primal drives. Mm-hmm. There's all the things that we like and hate and fear. They're all there on the internet. They're a projection of our limbic system. It's true.
No, it makes sense. And the thinking of it as thinking of corporations and just thinking of just human beings communicating online through these social media networks as some sort of an organism it's a cyborg. It's a combination. It's a combination of electronics and biology.
Yeah.
Does this
in some measure, like, is the success of these online systems is sort of a function of how much limbic resonance they're able to achieve with people. The more limbic resonance, the more engagement.
Whereas, like, one of the reasons why probably Instagram is more enticing than Twitter.
Limbic resonance.
Yeah, you get more images, more video.
Yes.
It's tweaking your system more.
Yes.
Do you worry about or wonder, in fact, about what the next step is? I mean, a lot of people didn't see Twitter coming, that, communicate with 140 characters or 280 now would be a thing that people would be interested in. Like, it's going to excel. It's going to become more connected to us, right?
Yes, things are getting more and more connected. They're, at this point, constrained by bandwidth. Our input-output is slow, particularly output. Output got worse with thumbs. You know, we used to have input with 10 fingers, now we have thumbs. But images are also they're a way of communicating at high bandwidth. You take pictures and you send pictures to people. That communicates far more information than you can communicate with your thumbs.
So what happened with you where you decided, or you took on a more fatalistic attitude? Like, what was there any specific thing, or was it just the inevitability of our future?
I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years.
This seems like a scene in a movie where the robots are going to fucking take over and you're freaking me out. Nobody listened.
Nobody listened.
No one. Are people more inclined to listen today? It seems like an issue that's brought up more often over the last few years than it was maybe 5-10 years ago. It seemed like science fiction.
Maybe they will. So far they haven't. I think people don't, like, normally the way that regulations work is very slow. It's very slow indeed. So usually there'll be some new technology. It will cause damage or death. There will be an outcry. There will be an investigation. Years will pass. There will be some sort of insight committee. There will be rulemaking. Then there will be oversight, eventually regulations. This all takes many years. This is the normal course of things. If you look at, say, automotive regulations, how long did it take for seatbelts to be implemented, to be required? You know, the auto industry fought seatbelts, I think, for more than a decade. Successfully fought any regulations on seatbelts, even though the numbers were extremely obvious. If you had a seatbelt on, you would be far less likely to die or be seriously injured. It was unequivocal. And the industry fought this for years successfully. Eventually, after many, many people died, regulators insisted on seatbelts. This time frame is not relevant to AI. You can't take 10 years from the point at which it's dangerous. It's too late.
And you feel like this is decades away or years away from being too late? If you have this fatalistic attitude and you feel like it's we're in almost like a doomsday countdown.
It's not necessarily a doomsday countdown. It's a
out of control countdown.
Out of control, yeah. People call it the singularity, and that's probably a good way to think about it. It's a singularity. It's hard to predict, like a black hole. What happens past the event horizon?
Right. So once it's implemented, it's very different because it will
once
be able to.
Once the genie's out of the bottle, what's going to happen?
And it will be able to improve itself.
Yes.
That's where it gets spooky, right? The idea that it can do thousands of years of innovation very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And then we'll be just ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
We will be like this ridiculous biological shitting, pissing thing trying to stop the gods. No, stop. We like living with a finite lifespan and watching, Norman Rockwell paintings.
It could be terrible, and it could be great. It's not clear.
Right.
But one thing is for sure, we will not control it.
Do you think that it's likely that we will merge somehow or another with this sort of technology and it'll augment what we are now? Or do you think it will replace us?
Well, that's the scenario. The merge scenario with AI is the one that seems like probably the best. Like
for us.
Yes. Like if you can't beat it, join it. That's
yeah.
So from a long-term existential standpoint, that's like the purpose of Neuralink, is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI. Because we have a bandwidth problem. You just can't communicate through your fingers. It's too slow.
And where's Neuralink at right now?
I think we'll have something interesting to announce in a few months. That's at least an order of magnitude better than anything else. Probably, I think better than probably anyone thinks is possible.
How much can you talk about that right now?
I don't want to jump the gun on that.
But what's like the ultimate? What's the idea behind it? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with it? Like, what would you like? Best case scenario.
I think best case scenario, we effectively merge with AI, where AI serves as a tertiary cognition layer, where we've got the limbic system, kind of the primitive brain essentially. You've got the cortex. So you're currently in a symbiotic relationship. Your cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. And generally people like their cortex and they like their limbic system. I haven't met anyone who wants to delete their limbic system or delete their cortex. Everybody seems to like both. And the cortex is mostly in service to the limbic system. People may think that the thinking part of themselves is in charge, but it's mostly their limbic system that's in charge. And the cortex is trying to make the limbic system happy. That's what most of that computing power is oriented towards. How can I make the limbic system happy? That's what it's trying to do. Now, if we can have a third layer, which is the AI extension of yourself, that is also symbiotic. And there's enough bandwidth between the cortex and the AI extension of yourself such that the AI doesn't de facto separate, then that could be a good outcome. That could be quite a positive outcome for the future.
So instead of replacing us, it will radically change our capabilities.
Yes, it will enable anyone who wants to have superhuman cognition. Anyone who wants. This is not a matter of earning power, because your earning power would be vastly greater after you do it. So it's just like anyone who wants can just do it, in theory. That's the theory. And if that's the case, then, and let's say billions of people do it, then the outcome for humanity will be the sum of human will. The sum of billions of people's desire for the future. And
but
that
billions of people with enhanced cognitive ability, radically enhanced.
Yes.
And which would be, how much different than people today? Like if you had to explain it to a person who didn't really understand what you were saying, like how much different are you talking about? When you say radically improved, like what do you mean? You mean mind reading?
It would be difficult to really appreciate the difference. It's kind of like, how much smarter are you with a phone or computer than without? You're vastly smarter, actually. You can answer any question. If you're connected to the internet, you can answer any question pretty much instantly, any calculation. Your phone's memory is essentially perfect. You can remember flawlessly. Your phone can remember videos, pictures, everything perfectly. Your phone is already an extension of you. You're already a cyborg. Most people don't realize they are already a cyborg. That phone is an extension of yourself. It's just that the data rate, the rate at which, or the communication rate between you and the cybernetic extension of yourself that is your phone and computer is slow. It's very slow. And that is like a tiny straw of information flow between your biological self and your digital self. And we need to make that tiny straw like a giant river, a huge, high bandwidth interface. It's an interface problem, data rate problem. You solve the data rate problem, then I think we can hang on to human-machine symbiosis through the long term. And then people may decide that they want to retain their biological self or not. I think they'll probably choose to retain their biological self.
Versus some sort of Ray Kurzweil scenario where they download themselves into a computer?
You will be essentially snapshotted into a computer at any time. If your biological self dies, you could probably just upload into a new unit. Literally.
Pass that whiskey. We're getting crazy over here. This is getting ridiculous.
Down the rabbit hole.
Grab that sucker. Give me some of that. This is too freaky. See, if I've
been thinking about this for a long time, by the way.
I believe you have. If I was talking to one of my... Cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Yeah, this is great whiskey.
Thank you. I don't know where this came from. Who brought this to us?
Trying to remember.
Somebody gave it to us. Yeah. Old Camp, whoever it was. Thanks. It's good. Yeah, it is good. This is just inevitable. Again, going back to when you decided to have this fatalistic viewpoint. So you tried to warn people. You talked about this pretty extensively. I've read several interviews where you talked about this, and then you just sort of just said, "Okay, it just is. Let's just." And you, in a way, you're by communicating the potential fear. I mean, for sure, you're getting the warning out to some people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was really going on the warning quite a lot. I was warning everyone I could. You ever met with Obama and just for one reason, like,
just
watch
talk
out
about AI?
Yes.
And what did he say? He said, "What about Hillary? Worry about her first." Shh, everybody be quiet.
No, he listened. He certainly listened. I met with Congress. I was at a meeting of all 50 governors and talked about just AI danger, and I talked to everyone I could. No one seemed to realize where this was going.
Is it that, or do they just assume that someone smarter than them is already taking care of it? Because when people hear about something like AI, it's almost abstract. It's almost like it's so hard to wrap your head around it. By the time it already happens, it'll be too late.
Yeah, I think they didn't quite understand it, or didn't think it was near term, or not sure what to do about it. And I said, like, an obvious thing to do is to just establish a committee, government committee, to gain insight, before you do oversight, before you do make regulations, just like try to understand what's going on. And then if you have an insight committee, then once they learn what's going on, get up to speed, then they can make maybe some rules or propose some rules. And that would be probably a safer way to go about things.
It seems, I mean, I know that it's probably something that the government's supposed to handle, but it seems like I don't want the government to handle this.
Who do you want to handle it?
I want you to handle this.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I feel like you're the one who could ring the bell better. Because if Mike Pence starts talking about AI, I'm like, shut up, bitch. You don't know anything about AI. Come on, man. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, but I don't have the power to regulate other companies. What am I supposed to?
Right. But maybe companies could agree. Maybe there could be some sort of we have agreements where you're not supposed to dump toxic waste into the ocean. You're not supposed to do certain things that could be terribly damaging, even though they'd be profitable. Maybe this is one of those things. Maybe we should realize that you can't hit the switch on something that's going to be able to think for itself and make up its own mind as to whether or not it wants to survive or not, and whether or not it thinks you're a threat. And whether or not it thinks you're useless. Like, why do I keep this dumb, finite life form alive? Why keep this thing around? It's just stupid. It just keeps polluting everything and shitting everywhere it goes, lighting everything on fire and shooting each other. Why would I keep this stupid thing alive? Because sometimes it makes good music, sometimes it makes great movies, sometimes it makes beautiful art, and sometimes it's cool to hang out with. Like,
yes, all those reasons.
Yeah, for us, those are great reasons.
Yes.
But for anything objective, standing outside, like, oh, this is definitely a flawed system. This is like if you went to the jungle and you watch these chimps engage in warfare and beat each other over the head with sticks. They're fucking real mean.
They're freaking mean.
They're real mean.
I saw that movie Chimpanzee. I thought it was going to be like some Disney thing. I was like, holy cow.
What movie was that?
It's literally called Chimpanzee.
Is it a documentary?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a documentary. I was like, damn, these chimps are mean.
They're mean.
Yeah, they're cruel.
Yeah, they're calculated. Yeah.
Yeah.
They sneak up on each other and.
Like, I didn't realize chimps did calculated cruelty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's pretty. I left that meeting kind of thinking, whoa, this is dark.
Right. Well, we know better because we've advanced. But if we hadn't, we'd be like, man, I don't want to fucking live in a house. I like the chimp ways, bro. Chimp ways to go. This is it, man. Chimp life. It's the only
Chimp life.
It's the only life I know. But we, in a way, to the AI, might be like those chimps. We're like, these stupid fucks launching missiles out of drones and shooting each other underwater. Like, we're crazy. We got torpedoes and submarines and fucking airplanes that drop nuclear bombs indiscriminately on cities. We're assholes.
Yeah.
They might go, why are they doing this? It might like look at our politics, look at what we do in terms of our food system, what kind of food we force down each other's throats. And they might go, these people are crazy. They don't even look out for themselves.
I don't know. I mean, how much do we think about chimps? Not much.
Very little.
It's like,
it's true.
These chimps are at war.
Right.
These like little, it's like groups of chimps just attack each other, and they kill each other, and they torture each other. That's pretty bad. They hunt monkeys. But like this is probably the most that, you know. I mean, when's the last time you talked about chimps?
Me?
Yeah.
All the time.
You do?
Talking to the wrong guy.
Unfortunately,
this fucking podcast, dude, I talk about chimps
Chimp
every
City?
other episode.
Okay.
People are laughing right now. Yeah, constantly.
Okay.
I'm obsessed. I saw that David Attenborough documentary on chimps where they were eating those colobus monkeys and ripping them apart.
It's just rough.
I saw that
It's
many years
gruesome.
ago. It just
Gruesome.
changed how I go, oh, this is why people are so crazy. We came from that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's
a
the
cousin of that
bonobos.
thing. Yeah.
They got a like better philosophy.
Yeah, they're like swingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are. They seem to be way more, even than us, way more civilized.
They just seem to resolve everything with sex.
Yeah. The only rules they have is the mom won't bang the son. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Mom won't bang her sons. They're good women.
Yeah.
Good women in the bonobo community. Everybody else just banging it out.
Yeah. I haven't seen the bonobo movie.
Well, they're disturbing just at a zoo. You know, you have bonobos at the zoo.
They're just constantly going.
Constantly fucking, yeah. Like, that's all they do.
Just won't stop.
Yeah, and they don't care. Gay, straight, whatever. Let's just fuck. What's with these labels?
I haven't seen bonobos at a zoo. It's probably like
I don't think
not,
I have either.
not in the PG section.
Yeah, I don't think they have them at many zoos. We've looked that up before,
Yeah,
too.
it's
didn't we?
probably pretty
Yeah.
awkward.
I think that's the thing. I think they like to keep regular chimps at zoos because bonobos are just always jacking off and
Yeah.
fucking. What's that? They have in San Diego?
San Diego's just got some, yeah.
Really? Interesting. Probably
Okay.
separate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many are there in a cage? You know, it's like
Right.
it's going to be pretty intense.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, we're a weird thing, you know, and I've often wondered if whether or not we're, you know, our ultimate goal is to give birth to some new thing, and that's why we're so obsessed with technology. Because it's not like this technology is really, I mean, it's certainly enhancing our lives in a certain way, but ultimately, is it making people happier right now? Most technology, I would say no. In fact, you and I were talking about social media before this, about just not having Instagram on your phone and not dealing, and you feel better.
Yes, I think that one of the issues with social media that's been pointed out by many people is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do.
Right.
So
By design.
yeah, people are posting pictures of when they're really happy. They're modifying those pictures to be better looking. Even if they're not modifying the pictures, they're at least selecting the pictures for the best lighting, the best angle. So people basically seem they're way better looking than they basically really are.
Right.
And they're way happier seeming than they really are. So if you look at everyone on Instagram, you might think, man, there are all these happy, beautiful people, and I'm not that good looking, and I'm not happy. So I must suck, you know, and that's going to make people sad. So when in fact, those people you think are super happy, actually not that happy. Some of them are really depressed. They're very sad. Some of the happiest seeming people, actually some of the saddest people in reality. And nobody looks good all the time. It doesn't matter who you are.
No. It's not even something you should want. Why do you want to look great all the time?
Yeah, exactly. So I think things like that can make people quite sad.
Well,
just by comparison, because you just sort of people generally think of themselves relative to others. We are constantly rebaselining our expectations. And you can see this, say, if you watch some show like Naked and Afraid, or if you just go and try living in the woods by yourself for a while, and you'll learn that civilization is quite great. It has a lot of it. People want to come back to civilization pretty fast on Naked and Afraid.
Wasn't that a Thoreau quote? The comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah. Well, happiness is reality minus expectations.
That's great too. But the comparison is a thief of joy really holds true to people. Is it?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. Fascinating. When you're thinking about Instagram, because what essentially Instagram is with a lot of people is you're giving them the opportunity to be their own PR agent, and they always go towards the glamorous, And when anybody does show, hashtag no filter, if they really do that, like, oh, you're so brave, look at you, no makeup, they look good anyway. You look great. What are you doing? Oh my God, you don't have makeup on. You still look hot as fuck. You know what you're doing. I know what you're doing too. They're letting you know, and then they're feeding off that comment section. Ooh, just a little sitting there like it's a fresh stream of love. Like you're getting right up to the source as it comes out of the earth, and you're sucking that sweet
lot of emojis.
Love water.
Emojis.
Yeah.
A lot of emojis.
My concern is not so much what Instagram is that I didn't think that people had the need for this or the expectation for some sort of technology that allows them to constantly get love and adulation from strangers and comments and this ability to project this sort of distorted version of who you really are. But I worry about where it goes. Like, what's the next one? What's the next one? Like, where is it? Is it going to be augmented? Some sort of a weird augmented or virtual sort of Instagram type situation where you're not going to want to live in this real world. You're going to want to interface with this sort of world that you've created through your social media page. It's some next level thing.
Go live in the simulation.
Yeah, I mean,
in the simulation.
Some Ready Player One type shit that's real. That seems, we have that HTC Vive here, and I've only done it a couple times, quite honestly, because it kind of freaks me out.
Sure.
My kids fucking love it, man. They love it. They love playing these weirdo games and walking around with that headset on. But part of me watching them do it goes, wow, I wonder if this is like the precursor. Just sort of like if you look at that phone that Gordon Gekko had on the beach.
Yes.
And then you compare
big
that.
Cell phone.
Yeah, you compare that to like a Galaxy Note 9.
Sure.
Like, how the fuck did that become that, right? And I wonder when I see this HTC Vive, I'm like, what is that thing going to be 10 years from now when we're making fun of what it is now? What is it? How ingrained and how connected and interconnected is this technology going to be in our life?
It will be, at some point, indistinguishable from reality.
Where we'll lose this. We'll lose this. Like, you and I are just looking at each other through our eyes. I see you, you see me. I hope.
You think so?
I think you probably have regular eyes.
This could be some simulation.
It could. Do you entertain that?
Well, the argument for the simulation, I think, is quite strong, because if you assume any improvement at all over time, any improvement, 1%, 0.1%, just extend the time frame, make it 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. Civilization, if you if you're very generous, civilization is maybe 7,000 or 8,000 years old, if you count it from the first writing. This is nothing. This is nothing. So if you assume any rate of improvement at all, then games will be indistinguishable from reality. Or civilization will end. One of those two things will occur. Therefore, we are most likely in a simulation.
Or we're on our way to one, right? Well, but just because we exist, we could most certainly be on the road. We could be on the road to that. right? It doesn't mean that it has to have
We could be
already
in base
happened.
reality. We could be in base reality.
We could be here now on our way to the road or on our way to the destination where this can never happen again, where we are completely ingrained in some sort of an artificial technology or some sort of a symbiotic relationship with the internet or the next level of sharing information. But right now we're not there yet. That's possible too, right? It's possible that a simulation is one day going to be inevitable, that we're going to have something that's indistinguishable from regular reality. But maybe we're not there yet. That's also possible. That we're not quite there yet. That this is real. When I touch that
feels
wood,
very real.
Maybe that's why everybody's like into like mason jars and shit.
Mason jars.
Suede shoes. People are into like craft restaurants and they want raw wood. Everyone wants to see metal. It seems like people are like longing towards some weird log cabin type nostalgia.
Sure, reality.
Yeah, like holding on, like clinging, just dragging their nails through the mud, like don't take me yet.
Yes.
I want to.
But then people will go get a mason jar with a wine stem or a handle. That's dark. Makes me lose faith in humanity.
Wine stem and a handle. Do they have those?
Yes.
Oh, those dirty people.
Oh,
that's just assholes. That's like people make pet rocks.
Rough.
Right? Some people are just assholes. They take advantage of our generous nature.
It was made with a wine stem, made with a handle.
They made it that way.
Yes.
So it wasn't like they welded it onto the mason. You fucks.
That would be fine if there was, they glued it on or something. But it was made that way.
White trash chic. Oh, this is disgusting. Yes. Look at this. Here it is,
Pretty
right
harsh.
there.
Yep.
This is terrible. Yeah. That's like fake breasts that are designed to be hard, like fake breasts from the 60s. It's like if you really long for the ones with ripples, here we go. Yeah. That's almost what that is.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, man? There's nothing, it's nothing you can do to stop certain terrible ideas from propagating.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to sound like things are too dark because I think like you kind of have to be optimistic about the future. There's no point in being pessimistic. It's just too negative.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't help. I think you want to be. My theory is like you'd rather be optimistic. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right.
Right.
At least err on that side.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you're pessimistic, you're just going to be miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody wants to be around you anyway. If it's the end of the world, you're like, I fucking told you, bro.
Yeah.
The world's ending. Yeah. It is what it is for all.
Enjoy the journey.
Right. If you really want to get morose, it is what it is for all of us anyway. We're all going to go, unless something changes.
Yeah. Ultimately, even if we just sort of existed as humans forever, we'd still eventually, that'd be like the heat death of the universe.
Right.
A zillion years from now.
Right. Even if we get it past the sun. If we figure out a way past the sun running out of juice.
Eventually it's going to end. It's just a question of when.
Right.
So it really is all about the journey.
Or transcendence from whatever we are now into something that doesn't worry about death.
The universe as we know it will dissipate into a fine mist of cold nothingness eventually.
And then someone's going to bottle it and put a fragrance to it. Sell it to French people in another dimension.
It's just a very long time. So I think it's really just about how can we make it last longer.
Are you a proponent of the multi-universes theory? Do you believe that there are many, many universes and that even if this one fades out, that there's other ones that are starting fresh right now and there's an infinite number of them and they're just constantly in this never-ending cycle of birth and death?
I think most likely, this is just about probability, there are many, many simulations. These simulations we might as well call them reality, or you could call them multiverse.
These simulations, you believe, are created? Like someone has manufactured?
They're running on the substrate.
So...
that substrate is probably boring.
Boring?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
Well, when we create a simulation, like a game or a movie, it's a distillation of what's interesting about life. It can take a year to shoot an action movie. and then that's all distilled down into 2 or 3 hours. So let me tell you, if you see an action movie being filmed, it's boring, super boring. There's like lots of takes. Everything's in a green screen. Looks pretty goofy. Doesn't look cool. But once you add the CGI and have great editing, it's amazing. So I think most likely, if we're a simulation, it's really boring outside the simulation. Because why would you make a simulation that's boring? You make a simulation way more interesting than base reality.
That is, if this right now is a simulation.
Yes.
And ultimately, inevitably, as long as we don't die or get hit by a meteor, we're going to create some sort of simulation if we continue on the same technological path we're on right now.
Yes.
But we might not be there yet. So it might not be a simulation here. But it most likely is, you feel, other places.
This notion of place or where is a...
Flawed?
Yes.
Flawed
like
perception.
Where, like that, if you have this sort of... that Vive, you know, that's made by Valve and Steam, and it's really Valve that made it. HTC did the hardware, but it's really a Valve thing.
Makers of Half-Life.
Yes. Valve, great company.
Great company.
When you're in that virtual reality, which is only going to get better, where are you? Where are you really?
Right.
You aren't anywhere.
Well,
you're in the computer.
What defines where you are?
Exactly.
Right.
It's your perception.
Is it your perceptions, or is it a scale that we have under your butt? You're right here. I've measured you. You're the same weight as you were when you left. But meanwhile, your experience is
why do you
radically
think
different.
you're where you are right now? You might not be.
I'll spark up a joint if you keep talking. Your manager's going to come in here. We might have to lock the door.
Right now, you think you're in a studio in L.A.
That's what I heard.
You might be in a computer.
Oh, listen, man. I think about this all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's unquestionable that one day that'll be the case, as long as we keep going, as long as nothing interrupts us, and if we start from scratch, and we're single-celled organisms all over again, and then millions and millions of years later we become the next thing that is us, with creativity and the ability to change its environment. It's going to keep monkeying with things until it figures out a way to change reality, to change. I mean, to almost like punch a hole through what is this thing into what it wants it to be, and create new things. And then those new things will intersect with other people's new things, and then it'll be this ultimate pathway of infinite ideas and expression, all through technology.
Yeah.
And then we're going to wonder, like, why are we here? What are we doing?
Let's find out.
Well,
I mean, I think we should take the set of actions that are most likely to make the future better.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then reevaluate those actions to make sure that it's true.
Well, I think there's a movement to that. I mean, in terms of like a social movement, I think some of it's misguided and some of it's exaggerated, and there's a lot of people that are fighting for their side out there. But it seems like the general trend of like social awareness seems to be much more heightened now than has ever been in any other time in history, because of our ability to express ourselves instantaneously to each other through Facebook or Twitter or what have you. And that the trend is to abandon preconceived notions, abandon prejudice, abandon discrimination, and promote kindness and happiness as much as possible. Looking at this knife, somebody gave it to me. Sorry.
Yeah,
Donnie
what is
Vincent.
this?
What the fuck did you do? My friend Donnie. He brought this with him, and it just stayed here. I have a real samurai sword if you want to play with that. I know you're into weapons. That's from the 1500s. Samurai sword at the end of the table? Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll grab it. Hold on. Yeah, that's a legit samurai sword from an actual samurai from the 1500s. If you pull out that blade was made the old way, where a master craftsman folded that metal and hammered it down over and over again over a long period of time and honed that blade into what it is now. What's crazy is that more than 500 years later, that thing is still pristine. I mean, whoever took care of that and passed it down to the next person who took care of it, and until it got to the podcast room, it's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
One day, someone's going to be looking at a Tesla like that. Dude, these fucking back doors, they pop up sideways like a Lamborghini.
You should see what a Tesla can do. You didn't. You should. I'll show you afterwards.
Well, I've driven one. I love them.
Yeah, but most people don't know what it can do.
In terms of like ludicrous mode? In terms of like driving super fast and irresponsibly on public roads? Is that what you're saying?
Well, any car can do that.
Yeah. What can it do that I need to know about?
I mean, the Model X can do this like ballet thing to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. It's pretty cool.
Where it dances?
Yes.
Legitimately? Like it moves around?
Yes.
Why would you program that into a car?
It seemed like fun.
That's what I get about you. That's what's weird. Like when you showed up here, you were all smiles, and you pull out a fucking blowtorch and not a blowtorch. But I'm like, look at this dude.
Not a flamethrower.
Not a flamethrower. I'm like, he's
I want to
having
be clear,
fun.
it's definitely not a flamethrower.
But you're having fun. Like this is like this thing when you program a car to do a ballet dance. You're having fun. But how do you have the time to do that? I don't understand why you're digging holes under the earth and sending rockets into space and powering people in Australia. Like, how the fuck do you have time to make the car dance ballet?
Well, I mean, in that case, there were some engineers at Tesla that said, what if we make this car dance and play music? I was like, that sounds great. Please do it. Let's try to get it done in time for Christmas. We did.
Is there a concern about someone just losing their mind and making it do that on the highway?
No, it won't do that.
What if it's in bumper-to-bumper traffic?
Nope.
No, won't do it.
Nope. It's actually, it's an Easter egg.
Oh, it's an Easter egg.
Yeah, that's why people don't know about it, including people who have the car.
Well,
it's like it can do lots of things. Lots of things.
Once Reddit gets a hold of it, everyone's going to know.
Oh, you just have to. It's everyone. If you search for it on the internet, you will find out. But people don't know that they should even search for it.
Oh well, they do now.
Yes.
Yes.
There's so many things about the Model X and the Model S and the Model 3 that people don't know about. We should probably do a video or something and explain it. Because I have close friends of mine, and I say, do you know the car can do this? And they're like, nope.
Do you want to do a video of that, or do you like the fact that some people don't know?
No, I think it's probably not. We should tell people.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
That would help your product. I mean, it's not like you don't sell enough of them. You sell almost too many of them, right?
I think a Tesla is the most fun thing you could possibly buy ever. That's what it's meant to be.
Well,
our goal is to make it's not exactly a car. It's actually a thing to maximize enjoyment. Make it maximum fun.
Okay. Electronic, like big screen, laptop, ridiculous speed, handling, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have?
And we're going to put video games in it.
You are?
Yeah.
Is that wise?
Well,
what kind of video
you won't be able to
Candy
drive
Crush?
while you're playing the video game. But we're like, for example, we're just putting the Atari emulator, ROM emulator in it. So you'll be able to play Missile Command and Lunar Lander and a bunch of other things.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
It's pretty fun.
I like that.
Yeah. And we improved the interface of Missile Command because it was too hard with the old trackball. So this is a touchscreen version of Missile Command. So you have a chance.
Do you have an old car, don't you? Don't you have like an old Jaguar?
Yeah. How'd you know that? That's most people know that. I have a 61 Series 1 E-Type Jaguar.
I love cars.
It's great.
Yeah, I love old cars. That's one of the things.
The only two gasoline cars I have are that and an old like a Ford Model T that a friend of mine gave me. That's my only two gasoline cars.
Is the Ford Model T all stock? Well, there's your car. Ooh, look at that.
I have the convertible.
That is a gorgeous car. God, that's a good-looking car.
Yes.
Is that yours?
That is. It's not
it?
mine. It's extremely
Seemly.
close to mine. But I don't have a French license plate on mine.
Oh, that's a beautiful car. They nailed that.
That's
that
mine looks like
E-Type,
that.
God, they nailed that.
That's what mine looks like. Maybe that is mine.
There's certain iconic shapes.
Yes.
And there's something about those cars, too. They're not as capable, not nearly as capable as like a Tesla, but there's something really satisfying about the mechanical aspect of like feeling the steering and the grinding of the gears and the shifting. There's something about those that's extremely satisfying, even though they're not that competent. Like I have a 1993 Porsche 964. It's like a lightweight. It's not RS America. It's not very fast. It's not like in comparison to a Tesla or anything like that. But the thing about it is like it's mechanical. Mm-hmm. You feel it. Everything's like it's like it gives you this weird thrill, like you're on this clinky ride, and there's all this feedback. There's something to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, my E-Type is like basically no electronics.
Yeah. So you like that, but you also like electronics.
Yes.
Like your Tesla's it's like the far end of electronics.
Yes.
Drives itself.
It's driving itself better every day.
Yeah.
It's we're about to release the software that will enable you to just turn it on and it'll drive from highway on-ramp to highway exit, do lane changes, to overtake other cars, to go from one interchange to the next. If you get on, say, the 405, and get off 300 miles later and go through several highway interchanges and just overtake other cars and hook into the nav system. And then... and
you're just meditating. Home.
Yeah.
Your car's just traveling.
It's kind of eerie. It's kind of eerie.
What did you think when you saw that video of that dude falling asleep behind the wheel? I'm sure you've seen it. The one in San Francisco. He's like right outside of San Jose. The dude's out cold like this. And the car's in bumper-to-bumper traffic moving along.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, right?
Yeah. We changed the software. We changed the software. That's, I think, an old video. We changed the software where if you don't touch the wheel, it will gradually slow down and put the emergency lights on and wake you up.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Can you choose what voice wakes you up?
Well, it's sort of more of it sort of honks.
Oh, it honks?
Yeah.
This should be like, wake up, fuckface.
Well,
you're endangering your fellow humans.
We could gently wake you up with a sultry voice.
That would be good. Like something with a southern accent. Hey, wake up.
Wake up, sunshine.
Hey, sweetie.
Exactly.
Why don't you wake
up? You could pick your...
Right, like
pick
Siri.
what you want.
Yeah, I choose the Australian girl for Siri.
Yeah.
I like her voice.
Do you want it seductive?
It's my favorite. I like Australian.
What flavor of... Do you want it to be angry? Could be anything.
You want those Australian prison lady jeans. Now, when you program something like that in, is this in response to a concern, or is it your own?
Yeah.
Do you look at it and go, "Hey, they shouldn't just be able to fall asleep. Let's wake them up."
Yeah. It's like, we're like, well, people falling asleep. We've got to do something about that.
Right, but when you first released it, you didn't consider it, right? You're just like, well, no one's gonna just sleep.
People fall asleep in cars all the time.
All the time.
And crash.
Yeah.
At least our car doesn't crash. That's better. Yeah. It's better not to crash. Imagine if that guy had fallen asleep in a gasoline car. They do it all the time.
For sure, yeah.
And they would crash into somebody.
Yeah.
In fact, the thing that really, got me to, it's like, man, we better get autopilot going and get it out there, was a guy was in an early Tesla driving down the highway and he fell asleep. And he ran over a cyclist and killed him. And it's like, I was like, man, if we had autopilot, we might have fallen asleep, but at least he wouldn't have run over that cyclist.
So how did you implement it? Like, did you just use cameras programmed with the system so that if it sees images, it slows down? And how much time do you give? Is the person who's in control of it allowed to program how fast it goes?
Yes. Yeah, you can program it to be more or less like more conservative or like more aggressive driver. And you can say what speed you want it to, what speed is okay.
I know you have ludicrous mode. Do you have douchebag mode?
Well,
it just cuts people off.
Well, For lane changes, it's tricky because if you're in like LA, like unless you're pretty aggressive, it's hard to change lanes sometimes.
You can't. It's hard to be Satnam. It's hard to be Namaste out here in LA.
Yeah.
If you want to hit that Santa Monica Boulevard off ramp.
I mean, you got to be a little pushy.
You got to be a little pushy. Yeah, especially
on the
when
freeway.
people are angry.
Yes.
They're a little angry. They don't want you in. They speed up.
Sometimes, I think people like overall are pretty nice on the highway, even in LA, but sometimes they're not.
Do you think the Neuralink will help that? Clink.
Probably.
Everybody be locked in together. This hive mind.
Tunnels will help it. We're going to have traffic.
That'll help a lot.
Yeah.
How many of those can you put in there?
Nice thing about tunnels. Nice thing about tunnels is you can go 3D. So you can go many levels.
Right.
So
until you hit hell.
Yeah. But you could have 100 levels of tunnel. No problem.
Jesus Christ. I don't want to be on 99. I want to be on the 99th, negative 99 floors. Whoo.
This is one of the fundamental things people don't appreciate about tunnels is that it's not like roads. The fundamental issue with roads is that you have a 2D transport system and a 3D living and workspace environment. So you got all these tall buildings or concentrated work environments, and then you want to go into this like 2D transport system, which
hugely
is
inefficient,
pretty low density because cars are spaced out pretty far, and so that obviously is not going to work. You're going to have traffic guaranteed. But if you can go 3D on your transport system, then you can solve all traffic. And you can either go 3D up with a flying car, or you can go 3D down with tunnels. And you can have as many tunnel levels as you want. And you can arbitrarily relieve any amount of traffic. You can go further down with tunnels than you can go up with buildings. You're 10,000 feet down if you want. I wouldn't recommend it, but...
What was that movie with, what's his face? With Bradley Cooper, not Bradley Cooper. Christian, no, what the fuck's his name? Batman. Who was Batman? Christian Bale. Where they fought dragons, him and Matthew McConaughey. They went down deep into the earth. How far deep can you go?
That was Batman.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Batman fought dragons?
No, it wasn't Batman, but it was Christian Bale.
Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire.
Okay.
You ever saw that?
No.
Terrible movie. Terrible movie, but good.
I wouldn't recommend drilling super far down.
Yeah,
like,
but you get
Earth
real
is
deep.
a
It gets hot, right?
Molten. Earth is a giant ball of lava with a thin crust on the top, which we think of as like the surface. This thin crust. And it's mostly just a big ball of lava. That's Earth. But 10,000 feet is not a big deal.
Have you given any consideration whatsoever to the flat Earth movement?
Haha. I think that's a troll situation.
Oh, it's not. No, it's not. You would like to think that because you're a super genius. But I, as a normal person, I know there's people way dumber than me. And they really, really believe. They watch YouTube videos, which go on uninterrupted and spew out a bunch of fucking fake facts very eloquently and articulately. And they really believe. These people really believe.
I mean, if it works for them, sure. Fine.
It's weird, though, right? That in this age where, you know, there's ludicrous mode in your car, goes 1.9 seconds, 0 to 60.
2.2.
2.2. Which one's 1.9? The Roadster?
Oh, the next generation Roadster.
Okay.
Standard edition.
Yeah, I'm on top of this shit.
That's without
standard edition.
Yeah, so it's without the performance package.
What performance package?
Yeah.
What the fuck do you need?
We're gonna put rocket thrusters on it.
For real?
Yes.
What are they gonna burn?
Nothing. Ultra high pressure compressed air.
Whoa. Just air?
Cold gas thrusters.
Now, do you have to have air tanks, or are they just sucking the air out of? Okay.
Yeah, just have an electric pump.
Whoa.
Pump it up to like 10,000 psi.
And how fast are we talking? 0 to 60.
How fast do you want to go?
I want to go.
We could make it just fly.
I want to go back in time.
Could make it fly.
You make it fly.
Sure.
Do you anticipate that as being? I mean, you were talking about the tunnels and then flying cars. Do you really think that's going to be real?
Too noisy, and there's too much airflow. So the fundamental issue with flying cars. I mean, if you get like one of those like toy drones, think of how loud those are, and how much air they blow. Now imagine if that's like 1,000 times heavier. This is not going to make your neighbors happy. Your neighbors are not going to be happy if you land a flying car in your backyard.
It'll be very helicopter-like.
Or on your roof. They're just really going to be like, what the hell? That was annoying.
Yeah.
You can't even, like, if you want a flying car, just put some wheels on a helicopter.
Is there a way around that? Like, what if they figure out some sort of magnetic technology, like all those Bob Lazar type characters were thinking that was a part of the UFO technology they were doing at Area 51? Remember, didn't they have some thoughts about magnetics?
Nope.
No? Bullshit?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, there's a fundamental momentum exchange with the air. So you must you must accelerate. There's a certain you have a mass and you have gravitational acceleration, and mass times your mass times gravity must equal the mass of airflow times the acceleration of that airflow to have a neutral force.
So it's impossible
mg equals
to get
ma,
around.
and then you won't move. But
Right.
if
Okay.
mg is greater than ma, you will go down. And if ma is greater than mg, you will go up. That's how it works.
There's just no way around that.
There is definitely no way around it.
There's no way to create some sort of a magnetic something or another that allows you to.
Technically, yes. You could have a strong enough magnet. But that magnet would be so strong that you would create a lot of trouble.
Would just suck cars up into your car? Just pick up
I mean,
axles and shit?
you'd have to repel off of either material on the ground or in a really nutty situation off of Earth's gravitational field and somehow make that incredibly light. But that magnet would cause so much destruction, you'd be better off with a helicopter.
So if there was some sort of magnet road, like you have two magnets and they repel each other, if you had some sort of a magnet road that was below you and you could travel on that magnet road, that would work.
Ha ha ha. Yes. Yes, you could have a magnet road.
A magnet road. Is that too ridiculous?
No, it would work. You could do
pretty
that.
ridiculous too, right?
I would not recommend it.
There's a lot of things I don't recommend. I don't
I would
recommend
super
smoking.
not recommend that. Not good, not wise, I think.
No? Magnet roads?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. That would cause a lot of trouble.
So you've put some time and consideration into this other than, instead of like my foolishly rendered thoughts. So you think that tunnels are the way to do it?
Oh, it'll work for sure.
That'll work.
Yes.
And these tunnels that you're building right now, these are basically just like test versions of this ultimate idea that you have?
It's just a hole in the ground.
Right. We played videos of it where your idea is that you're going to drop that hole in the ground, there's a sled on it, and the sled goes very fast, like 100 miles an hour plus.
Yeah, you can go real fast. You can go as fast as you want. And then if you want to go long distances, you can just draw the air out of the tunnel, make sure it's real straight.
Draw the air out of the tunnel.
Yeah, just have a vacuum tunnel. Because then depending on how fast you want to go, you can either use wheels, or you could use air bearings, depending upon the ambient pressure in the tunnel, or you could maglev it if you want to go super fast.
So a magnet road.
Yes, but underground magnet roads.
Underground magnet roads.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to really create a lot of trouble because there's metal things.
So magnet road's the way to go, just underground.
If you want to go really fast underground, you would be maglev in a vacuum tunnel.
Mag in a vacuum tunnel.
Magnetic levitation in a vacuum tunnel.
Launchers.
Fun?
With rocket launchers.
No, I would not recommend putting any exhaust gas in the tunnel.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Because
then
then
you're
your
gonna have to
air will
pump
be
it out.
gone. Right. You'll have to pump it out. And you probably have a limited amount of air in the first place. Like, how much can you breathe? Do you have to pump oxygen into these cubicles?
No, you'd have like a
tubes?
pressurized pod. It'd be like a little tiny underground spaceship, basically.
Ha ha ha. 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Thank you. Thanks for
It really helped me so much. You asked so much of me.
Phone home.
Alright guys, let's fucking win. Where's Paul at?
Was sleeping? He's an island.
Fucking rest in peace. First to the lodge. First to get the money.
Mushrooms.
Doesn't say no to drugs. Unless you're gonna turn and sell them. That's totally fine.
You don't sell them on eBay. Oh yeah.
Go ahead, bro. Made my first sale the other day.
Oh, you did?
That I have in like months. Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you sell?
Some fucking random ass radio that I just had on my eBay. I totally forgot it was on there. Random ass like.
How much?
Slightly stoked.
Get back into that on the weekends or something when you got time.
Mm-hmm. Tell me what to do. The fuck? What's wrong with you?
Just saying.
Fucking tell me. Fuck.
Have you done anything in your classes yet, or is it still like just like introductory shit?
Yeah, look, of course I have. I'm doing doing a bunch of programming shit recently. It's going good. I'm good. Made some friends.
There you go.
How dare you?
Help Pat with
How dare you make?
help Pat with chemistry homework.
Fuck you.
He needed lots of help. What did Pat say? We sat down like the second day of class and he's like, fuck, I forgot how to read.
Forgot to read.
God damn it, Pat, it wasn't like that funny. God damn it. Ah. Ooh, testicle. Oh. That's not what I wanted. Ooh. Yeah. Isn't it like drop rates? on the shotguns like reduced.
Yeah.
I missed you guys already. Who's missing? Anthony and Preston.
We're at the mansion.
Oh, fucking Spider-Man. Yo, Nick, watch this shit. Watch this. Watch. Ready? Spider slick. Oh. Ooh, shots heard at retail. Copy that. All units, please respond. Nick, I'm gonna need you to stay awake.
I'm trying to find a
Copy
wood
that.
to fucking continue.
Yeah, Nick, use this. Whoa, what happened to the cube? What the
Oh, I
fuck?
see a rift.
It's like defying the laws of physics, brother. Is it moving like every day?
I like how this rift isn't even fucking on a solid platform. It's just like hanging up.
Just defying the laws of physics. Whoa, that's awesome.
Oh, it's rocket.
Okay.
So don't let him die. He's gonna rage quit.
On top of the roof.
Oh no, Nick.
Got us both.
Fucking thirsted the shit out of our friends.
That guy floating above you, Pat. Right here, one hit for 33.
One just dead. Love you. Got him. There's gotta be more, right?
What happened to Anthony and Preston?
We died.
Fucking dude.
Look at Anthony's webcam. Is he about to rage quit?
He doesn't have a webcam on,
God.
but I assume
Worse than I
so.
thought. Get all the
So, I discovered, Nick, in that immediate instance, that the
Pat,
cube
let's get a fight real quick.
launches you across. Shoot it once?
So, didn't we go over this? Like,
See, I feel like maybe we did, but I was like absent from the conversation. You fucked that one up.
missed the jump pad. A mile. Is the jump pad right above me? in the streets.
I made us a sick house. Make a house at home, Nick. This is fucking Minecraft, brother. Oh, launchpad. Yo, grab the Slurpenheimen, dude. Coming to get this Slurpenheimen? Oh, that was sick. That was sick.
Oh, I'm coming back though. I don't have any shields. All fun and games until I get one-shotted. Oh, I have shields.
Whoa! If I shoot it from here, will it still do it? Bro, that's like not. That's not how that works. What's this thing, Anthony? Is Nick coming? Nick.
You want?
Hi,
I don't like being spectated. You? A rift right in front of us. Feast.
Hey, cousin. Where will we be going, lad? Top of this here mountain, I say.
Fuck no, we're going
Oh.
in.
Ooh,
This is
ooh,
not
good call.
called Paradise Palms. Hello,
You've got,
my fucking home.
Miss.
Light me up.
Where be our enemies? There'd be a thing of droppage over here. I'd be going towards it. Oh my.
Another rift, let's take that.
A great battle happened here. Combat tree coming from north. Is you hear me? Me be thinking I might need to be chugging this here slurp. What should I be doing? Should I be doing it? Nick, you should get over here and chug this here slurp. Skrat-tat-tat-tat. We shall rift again, brother.
Build up to it, let's get out of here. Let's fucking skedat. Oh my. Oh dear.
Beautiful.
I'm ready.
Nick, I just John Wick the fuck out of this. Where'd you go? Oh! Where are we going? Where are we going now, lad? It might be a 2v2.
Where? North?
There they be up there in the horizon.
Ah, are you sure? Oh god, I'm going into the storm. We wait in paradise for me.
We be waiting in paradise here. A chesticle right here.
Don't judge me on this building. That threw me off.
I'll be
can't
seeing
wait.
them.
I can't wait for them to snipe us in the back of the head.
North, I say.
They're north, they're north. Boom. They synchronize their snipes and just fucking
Nick,
both of us.
they be moving into my nice apartment.
Oh,
She.
where did that snipe come from?
Ah! That didn't work.
Oh, I almost just killed myself. I'm also charging. Fuck me.
How'd you die?
God damn you idiot.
I've been
Oh, they're
sniped.
building up to him. They're
No,
building up to
you're
him.
dead.
Oh! It's a cheaty mac and cheese and meatballs giving some out.
Oh, there he is.
Above you! Ah! You got build.
Wow.
I'll trip him. Oh, I'm up there to trip him. Just here. I'm gonna trip him. Nick, he's building over me. You can shoot him down. Shoot. Oh, he's on top of the building.
He's dropping down here. He's dropping down here.
Drop. Stop shooting.
You guys call us are terrible.
Nick, run to me. You can save me, brother.
I hear that. If you would let me listen, so I can fucking figure out where the fuck he is.
No!
He's building over. Can't fucking hear anything. He's not building over anymore. He's on top of it. Jesus. How fucking dumb are you guys? Just shut up for a second.
It's just so lit.
Yeah, if you listen to me, you would have won.
I did listen to you. I popped my head as you said he was fucking building over. Yeah, because I looked at where Preston called it out, and he's not there. And that's why I don't fucking like Preston.
I fucking scoped at the kid. Yeah, I was running down the ramp at like a crazy angle, and he just fucking domed me one shot. 100 dead. I was out. All I know is he got me, boys.
If you pop your head out, you can fucking kill him. Okay, Preston.
Imagine paradise.
Where to? Mansion.
I'd like to thank the bus driver.
Going rogue this game.
See it.
Anthony, where will we be going? To the racetrack. Sick and Anthony sounds nice. Runs off the tongue. I have separation anxiety, so I'm gonna go with you. I've been drinking watermelon. Coming in hot. Copy that. We are flying in Mach 10 into the building. Man's got heart. You've got heart.
Oh, I don't want to find you guys. I can listen to that fucking garbage again.
Separation anxiety.
I know, it was you, Pat and fucking Preston. shower.
Oh my god. Don't even start fucking dragging other people down. You know that person, that's it.
Preston's balls are pretty... Should've just fucking healed. This shit fucking pisses me off.
You're such a sassy little asshole, dude. Such a sass. Sasshole.
Oh, stop! Like, just he's coming across. You can fucking get him. Shoot it down. Fucking look, he's not there. Miss my chance of fucking healing. He jumps on my fucking face.
Fantastic.
Moving on.
It goes back to the Call of Duty 4 days.
Man.
That's when you're supposed to be quiet. S&D,
Is
brother.
that RPG?
So these buildings are fucking loaded. Anthony, where's the race cars? No, there's not. Don't say that. Don't even. I'm not in the mood. Ooh. Yes. Listen, man, I'm not trying to flex on you, but yes. Is it east? There only be one. Oh, there's another one up there. Okay, alright, how do I drive this thing? How do you drift like that? Oh. Power slide. What's up, Milan? Night.
She's telling you to get off the Xbox.
Yeah, she's saying she's going to bed.
She's going to bed. Gives you the stare.
Okay, hold it. I gotta win. Lighting. Nick's fucking being a sassy little asshole and he left us today, everyone.
Sounds like you're more butthurt.
Shut up.
Who's the sassy?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Yeah, fucking dinosaur there. Oh, I drove off to the side.
Game boys, see on the other side. Yeah, fucking team just walked up on me.
No, not those.
I'm over it. Enjoy your guys' game.
I miss Nick.
Middle of a field, no idea.
It's gotta be like game battles for just this.
Just go-kart racing.
Yep. Anthony, where'd you go? Oh shit. Alright, Preston, hop in. I found 3 rifts right here, Anthony. There's like 4 rifts on me. Preston, come here. Preston. Alright, fuck him.
Alright, back.
I'm fucking dead. No, I'm good. Alright, Preston, get in my cart.
Yeah, where's his cart?
I'm fucking dead. I'm fucking dead. Oh, we're good, baby.
Pull up, pull up. Yeah. I got Tommy gun and everything. This is super gangster.
Preston, you're in the car. There's nothing gangster about it.
I like how we're just gonna be here the entire game and no one's gonna bother us.
Squad?
Squad.
Fucking get it.
To get a boost from Germany.
Hi. Oh my. Oh wow.
Flip it, flip it. Oh, oh. Rift.
Oh!
So we went through it with
I'm fucking dead. That was good.
Oh, you lied.
Alright, come on. Get in the car. Get in the car.
Yeah.
So fucking dead. Whoa.
Dude, what? We landed on like a bush or something? Yeah, no, we're good.
I have to get a good running start here. Let's fucking go. Oh! Oh!
Landed it.
And back
A little
up.
bit more speed. Yep, yep. Drift a little bit.
I like the sickest fucking wrist ever. I drifted around that turn and then fucking hit it.
To the right? Okay.
Oh.
Very cool. Can you find the gold card? Okay, Pat, find Anthony.
Oh.
Got him. Is that a rift over here? What the hell's that? Oh, it's a balloon coming our way.
Oh, come on, I had that. No. Risky Rito. Like combat going on right here.
Oh boy.
Oh my god, yeah, that was even a fucking hit me down that much. See that, Anthony? I got it here.
Guys?
I have fucking 9 health.
Yeah.
Down super weak as well. Down. Go, baby. Can't believe I almost died there. You hit me down from fucking. I had 9 HP. Not even. There's more medis here if you want to grab them. I got nothing there. Just go sit in here for a sec.
Main launcher right here.
I'm set on middies.
Where the minis at? I got it.
I'm still, was that 5 people? A lot of scars and shit. But my time. Oh. You got it? There was like 3 in there actually. Did Nick get off? Or is he still lingering?
No, I'm playing MCC.
Okay, word. When we're gonna fix. Let's do it. MC
Probably my
Sizzle.
last game. So, you guys can play. Go through or something.
No one's died for like 50 seconds. I need someone to die.
Yeah, I see him.
That's my Tommy gun, though.
Oh, they got me. I'm down.
Another one up top. Oh, I hit him for a lot. Nice. Can you pick me up real quick? Is there a chug dug anywhere or anything? Yeah, just if you drop me a medal, that'd be sick. Love you.
Sweet.
That was slightly terrifying. I'm just lifting. No, nothing. In fact, yeah, they didn't have much of anything. Except like RPGs and shit. Maxed. That'd be nice, huh? But my Tommy gun done. There they are, building south. Follow the rocket. Fucking default skin as fuck.
I don't like men that much.
I just hit him for 7 damage with the heavy shotgun. 7 damage.
Damn.
Rest in peace, friend. Lightning fist. You're back. He's running down, all the way down.
Yep. Yo, jump out or anything? Inside?
You do something quick.
Okay.
Good job, guys. Really proud of our team. I don't know how the fuck I got so many kills after I was fucking ripping around that cart the whole game.
Yep. Yeah, you're all loaded up and ready to go. Yeah.
Pressing veteran Fortnite player.
Alright. Night, guys. See you later.
Night presto.
No, no. No, no. MCC, brother. I heard it.